Yo, what is up, everybody? It is your boy Bash, the dead guy, coming back at you with another episode. And guess what? I am surrounded, you cool cats and kittens, with $5 butt stuff right above me, as per usual. The Bartle Boss, and then right below me, the big bad booty daddy himself, Mr. Collectibles.
Hey.
Which, congratulations to you. This man just scored an amazing deal. And he is the official merch guy for the amazing Jekyll sisters. So congratulations on that, and I hope nothing but good fortune for you.
Well, it looks like it's going to be pretty all right. I mean, shirt design sold 21 shirts in day one out of a week. So,
yeah. And you get commission on that, is that correct?
I can't discuss the actual details of the contract I have with them, but something like that, yeah.
Oh, no, I was talking about off the site.
Oh, yeah, well, again, I can't talk about the money part of it, but yeah, there's something there for me, for sure.
Well, you know what? It's always awesome to have a homie fucking that succeeds at something. I'm very happy for you, and I'm proud.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Now, shut the fuck up, and we're getting straight into this. I love you too. All right, so Bartle, why don't you tell them what the tier list that we are doing today and how much they are going to argue with us?
All right, so taking a break from some Juggalo ones, depending on whenever we release these. This is going to be our tier list for the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So there are 9 movies in the series. We have Nightmare 1, 2, 3 is Dream Warriors. 4, I don't know why I went into this because I can't read them. We have 4 or 5. Freddy's Dead, New Nightmare, Freddy vs. Jason, and the remake.
All right, so for all you that don't know, it's Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, which is Dream Master, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, which is Dream Child, and then Nightmare on Elm Street 6, which is the final chapter, which is Freddy's Dead, and then you have a Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which was a doozy. You have Freddy vs. Jason that came after that. And then you have the sad remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which I think we all agree on this. That should be in the F tier right now.
Yeah, we should just get that out of the way because it's
a bad movie. It was a bad remake. First of all, no Robert Englund.
Yeah.
And that's already enough to put it in F tier. But then they also lean so heavily on the bad parts of his backstory. So yeah, F tier all the way.
Yeah. So Bash, before we get into like the actual tier list, since you know heavily about this, and I know Jason Goes to Hell falls in between New Nightmare and Freddy vs. Jason,
right?
Like, even though that's like half a second that he's in it. Where does the TV series fall in this? Like timeline wise.
The TV series, what do you mean?
There's a TV series of fucking Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, I was wondering if you were talking about the Nightmare TV series or the Friday the 13th TV series.
The Nightmare TV series. The horrible excuse for a TV series, but it's still a TV series and it's still canon somewhere.
I don't think I've seen it.
Give me one moment.
It might not be canon though, actually. Now I think about it, it might not be canon to the series.
You know what is canon though? Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Yes.
And the millions of times they tried to get that passed and never did.
Dude, there's so much shit. Like, there's something wrong with the copyright issues on fucking Evil Dead. Like, something incredibly wrong. Because not only did they try to do that for fucking years and years and years and years, they also tried to get Ash in Mortal Kombat and could not do it for the same reasons.
Oh, Freddy's a Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy's Nightmares.
That might be it.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Wow, that came out in it was 3 seasons and it came out in 1988. So that would be, if I'm reading this correctly, 1988.
That's like in between 2 and 3, right?
No,
Isn't that like
that's right
place
after
when
the
all
third
the
one.
kids die? I know in one of the movies, like all the kids die and Freddy has to move out into a new territory.
Yeah, that's
He has to,
Freddy.
like-
That's Freddy's Dead, the final chapter. But
Okay.
no, that's literally right after the third one. In between the third one and the fourth one.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was like every other year they were coming out with, like in 1984 they came out with the first one. 1985 they came out with Nightmare on Elm Street 2. 1987 they came out with the third one. 1988 they came out with the fourth movie, then the TV series, and then in 1989 they came out with the fifth one. 1991 was Freddy's Dead, and then in 1994 Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and then in 2003 they came out with Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay.
Which now I'm gonna have to buy.
What, the show?
Yeah,
No, you don't. It's
I'm
not worth it, my guy.
I don't care. I am a horror movie fanatic.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some things out there, man, that just it's Troll 2 being one of them.
Would you get those out of the fucking F tier, you piece of shit human being?
Are you sure? Are you sure? We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay, we will do these in order the proper way. The only one that belongs in the F tier right now is the very last one.
Yeah, that just gets to be no.
Bartle, I will ban you from this stream.
Then no one will be able to do the tier list.
We'll do it
Well,
vocally.
if that's sitting at fucking S tier, no, I don't think anybody wants to do the fucking tier list.
Yeah, no, I agree. Awful movie. Anyway, let's go all the way back to 1984 then.
1984, when they thought that their hot cocoa was hot. All right, so in 1984, they came out with the first Nightmare on Elm Street. And this was actually the first film that Johnny Depp was in, and he was the kid that got sucked through the mattress. Which funny thing. Do you want to know how they got the blood on the ceiling for that scene? So
They used like a fire hose or something?
No. So what they did is they had an alternate room that was set up just like the bedroom, but everything was upside down. So, and what they did was they did have a fire hose that was underneath the mattress, but the mattress was up on the ceiling. Everything was upside down, and then what they did is they turned the camera upside down to fucking shoot it, so it looked like it was normal. And you can clearly tell when the blood is hitting the ceiling, it's drifting off to one side of the floor because the floor wasn't fucking level at all, and that's how you could tell.
Yeah, Glenn's kill scene is like one of the most iconic horror kill scenes ever. Like, it's so iconic in the horror history, and Johnny Depp played that character so well.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about this movie is like the mom was a drunk. So the mom was a drunk. She ends up dying. And Nancy pulls Krueger into the real world, sets him on fire again. And then, he kills her mother while she's passed out in bed. Like, with all the shit that she did to him before she set him on fire and the front door's locked and her dad is across the street, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. The ending to this movie also, just a weird ending where he kind of like, she's like, I have no fear from you anymore. Trying to do some weird It Chapter 1 or It Chapter 2 kind of thing. And he just kind of evaporates into the bed. And then they get that iconic scene at the end, which technically wasn't in the original filming of the movie. They made them go back and refilm and film that end scene to bait like sequels, but that's not how it was originally meant to be ended. And I gotta say, when her mom gets pulled into that window, oh my god, the graphics, that's so good.
Yeah,
it was funny, but you can clearly tell that it was a doll.
Yeah,
it looked like a blow-up doll to me.
All right. I will say the ending to the movie though, like the weird him disappearing thing is weird, but then like once she goes out and like the suspense you get from that end scene with the car and stuff, it gave me a little bit of chills. It got me excited for another movie. So it did what it was supposed to.
Yeah. I would say it was very confusing with some of the shit though. I say it's great, but it's not top tier, So I'm gonna have to put it at A tier.
I tend to agree with you. I want to put it at S just because it's the first one and it's iconic, and it's the only time really that you get. So we'll talk about this a little bit with 2 also. 1 and 2, Freddy is like super serious. He's super like, he's not joking around. He's getting to the point. He just wants to kill you.
Well, here's something else for you. If you ask people what their favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie is, 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear everybody say the third one.
Yeah.
And that's because that one is like the iconic one. Like, yeah, the first one is always going to be iconic. But here's the thing, though. How many people go back and watch the first one of every series?
That's the thing. Like some horror movies have really bad first ones. And I know that's a controversial thing to say, but look at Friday the 13th.
Well,
you don't even get Jason in Friday the 13th. But no, I kind of agree with you. It's like just out of reach of the S tier. It's like it's A,
I'd
but
put it in A.
It's almost S. Like it's almost perfect, but it's not.
Now, I get what you're saying on that, and I'm happy where it sits right now because that's where it belongs. It's still good. It's just it's so close.
Yeah, it was so close. If the ending wasn't so odd. It's just if it wasn't like if it was a little more just cut and dry.
The fucking I still say Johnny Depp's death scene was the best one.
Absolutely.
Hands down. Out of all of her friends, that was the best one. Second best death scene was her friend at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I love how they recreated that in the remake. And I love the actress that they got to do it in the remake too. So it's like, what better bitch to die? So, but this movie, it definitely put a stamp on horror and made you think. Which moves us to the second one, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, which this one was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
I personally like to, and I don't know if it's just me being a fucking troll, and I've convinced myself that it's good. There's scenes in 2 that I absolutely hate. I hate that they break continuity. I hate that Freddy comes into the real world. At the same time, extended dance scene.
You're just a troll.
Yeah.
I know there's parts of 2 that are so campy that I love them. They were campy, but not meant to be campy.
So I'm gonna say this: this movie was a disappointment. It was meant to be a disappointment, and there's a reason why. The kid that was a main actress, actress, key phrase, the main actor. Everybody knows he's openly gay, but at this time, during this time period, it was not okay to be openly gay. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but in his own words, like, I did not want to come out. I did not want to come out at this time. He did a movie called My 20-Year Nightmare on Elm Street because the director at the time, and not the director, but the screenwriters had made it into a giant gay joke. Like, they brought him into a gay bar. They, when they told him to scream, they did not tell him to scream like a little girl. That was all him. And his argument was, well, you put me in this type of scene and did this and this and this to me, like it was just natural. And they kind of looked at him like, first of all, we didn't know it was a gay bar. We just thought it was a bar. Which I kind of feel like having the gym coach dress up in all leather and a fucking choker, that should have gave it away.
Another thing about this movie, isn't this one like they didn't invite Wes Craven back to direct? I believe Wes Craven turned it down or something because he didn't think that there needed to be a remake, or he didn't think there needed to be a sequel, rather.
Yeah. Plus, Nancy wasn't in it.
Right.
Nancy survived and she wasn't in it.
Yeah, there was like a whole big controversy, I think, around that where it didn't end the way that they wanted it to, and people weren't asked to come back, and it was just a complete kind of reboot, but in a different way.
Well, yeah.
Now, I wouldn't say it's trash. Like, I wouldn't say 100% of it is bad. No, I would say 90% of it is bad.
Yeah.
I
I'd say like C tier. Honestly.
Yeah,
honestly, I'd put it in D. And I know I was joking.
I would gladly. I was being nice putting in C, so I would gladly put it.
I mean, I was a little bit joking. I always a little bit joke about Nightmare 2, but that's because it's Nightmare 2. It's iconically bad.
Yeah, put it in D.
Yeah.
Look at that. We're already 18 minutes into this, and we already knocked out 3 movies.
I mean, we knocked out the last one in like a second.
So right now we got Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. This movie,
top tier.
Top tier all the way. This is the one that everybody knows. Everybody loves this movie. And I don't give a fuck who you are. If you say otherwise, then you don't know horror.
Right. This is the first time we get campy Freddy. I think the first kill is the ventriloquist kill, if I'm correct.
The puppet kid, yeah.
Yeah, the puppet kid.
And which was so iconic too.
Right, it was so cool. Like, it's like we hadn't seen a Freddy like that. The last Freddy we saw was possessing bodies and coming out into the real world for some reason.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see like powers that we hadn't seen before. And then of course we get Primetime Bitch, which is like the turning point in Freddy's lineage. It's where the movies went and they completely changed. Also, I like in this movie, you get a little bit of where the kids can fight back. Where like the kids aren't as helpless, and it added a little bit more to the dynamic of the movie.
Well, that's also because they brought Nancy back.
Right. And that's another big thing is they brought back Nancy.
But they also brought back her father. They killed her father. They killed her. at the ending of it. They showed Freddy as a giant fucking worm, which was fucking cool.
Yeah.
As he's trying to like swallow her. He came out of the TV and he was like, "It's prime time, bitch." Grabs her and shoves her head first into the fucking TV, which
Yeah,
ends
there
up
was
electrocuting
some
her.
of the best kills we get in this one.
The puppet one, I would have to say is like second best kill. Top kill has got to be the primetime bitch.
Yeah.
So, and then they had the nerd one with the nerd kid who wanted to be a fucking wizard.
Mhm.
Which I thought that one was kind of stupid. It was a stupid kill. Stupid.
I love that kill. It's so campy.
The one that I thought like going in next for third place was the girl that was the addict who was supposed to be like the legit badass and shit, and then you just see her arms like they're opening up, going.
Yeah, that shit grossed me the fuck out when I was younger, dude.
I thought it was fucking dope.
I fucking loved it, but it grossed me out for sure.
So, the next one. The next one is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, which just so happens to be Dream Master. The three kids that survived from Dream Warriors end up dying all at the beginning of the fucking movie. Freddy is resurrected, which is pretty dope. This one kind of got weird. It got weird. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't great. You know, it had Freddy trying to kill her older brother. The father was a drunk. The main character, she was a fucking she had no self-esteem, no nothing, and she soft spoken, and she's like, "Oh, her name is Alice," and the way how they ended up getting into their fight scene was fucking he gets her into like the dream world, and she walks into a church or into a church room, and he's like, "Oh, welcome to Wonderland, Alice." And then that's kind of like how she ends up going. So I would say that this one's a B.
Right. I'm trying to think of some of the kills that happened in this one. When I get to these later movies, I do struggle a little bit with sorting out which ones are which.
Well, you had the girl that had asthma.
Right. I was trying to think, is that from this movie?
Yep, that's this one. You also had the brother that was into karate.
Okay. Is this the one that we get the throwback to Glenn, or is that in the fifth movie? Where it's like, this is your brain on drugs type thing.
That is the sixth one.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep mixing them up. And the beach kill scene, is that from this one?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I'm juffing over here.
Oh, it's all right.
I'm in the same position, man. Like, I barely remember a lot of these movies.
Honestly, like
so long.
Well, kind of like what you said, B. I kind of see it at C, just because it's like one of those ones I can't remember, so it must not be that significant. Like,
all right,
but I will say some of the kills in this movie I do remember a little bit, like the beach scene and the asthma scene. So yeah, I could see maybe putting it in B.
All right, yeah. The next one is Dream Child. So yet again, the girl who ends up surviving from the previous movie finds out that she's pregnant. She has a new whole group of friends. One of her friends, her mom is trying to pimp her out to be a model. And she's starving herself, pretty much. Her death is Freddy shoves a bunch of food down her throat and makes her choke. You have a comic book nerd who's afraid of blood, the sight of blood. who ends up battling Freddy as a comic book character. And yeah, you have another scene where they have a tough girl that she gets turned into a cockroach, and then fucking Freddy like holds the thing and just crushes it.
I
Kills
remember that,
yeah,
actually.
kills the boyfriend in a car accident, and it was just all fucking. This one was a little more campy, but it at the same time, like some of the scenes and shit in it were pretty cool. Like the comic book scene, that death was like awesome because Freddy went from being regular Freddy to super Freddy, and he's like the strength of 100 maniacs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would put this one at an A, at the A tier, because there was more shout outs in this one than fucking previous films.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I was gonna say like a high B in front of 4, but I could definitely it's right there in between 4 and the original. So yeah, let's put it at A for now. I do agree.
Which one is next? This is Freddy's Dead. Oh
Freddy's
my god.
Dead.
This one, man, I'm gonna say is an S tier. It's an S tier all the way. This is the one where he's like the one kid they bring back Johnny Depp, and he's like, "This is your brain on drugs," and then Freddy just comes out of nowhere and cracks him.
Right. Isn't this also the one that we get the video game kill?
Yep.
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
same scene, and then he's like, "Great graphics." You also get the eardrum scene with the fucking hearing aid and the nail.
I hate that one.
You get that. You get
Dude, yeah. Yeah.
that one was no, Freddy's Dead was fucking amazing. It has to be top tier all the fucking way. These last two that we're about to do, they're pretty cut and fucking dry. You got Wes Craven's New Nightmare on Elm Street, where Freddy is actually coming to life.
My personal favorite one as well.
I gotta say S tier.
S tier.
S tier between the two?
I would say S tier for a Wes Craven's Nightmare.
Yeah, no, I'm saying after 3. But
Yeah.
okay.
Which leaves us with Freddy versus Jason. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I like the soundtrack to the city.
It's such a good movie, bro. I actually remember
a great
this
movie.
Back,
I'm waiting.
Oh, no. I love this movie. The only thing that pisses me off is that they did not follow the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, also, Jason has so many more kills than Freddy does in this movie. It's more of a Jason movie. In the sense that Jason gets over on Freddy more than anything. That ending, though, you have to give some points for that ending. Just everything from Camp Crystal Lake onward.
Here's the thing, though, is everybody was asking me, like, who won that fight?
Nobody wins that fight.
No. Jason won. So here, I'll explain it. So the director that did it, they were planning on doing a part 2. And they were going to bring in Bruce Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And they already had the poster made. It was Bruce Campbell putting both Jason and Freddy in a headlock. Like that. But they never went through with it because the director was like, Robert, we can't have you lose. You already lost in the first movie. And he was like, yeah, but how are you going to bring in Bruce Campbell as Ash and not have Bruce Campbell win? He's supposed to be the good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what stopped it, because like fucking, he made it. Robert Englund made a good point. So it's such. It's such.
Debatable, though. I don't think he lost. I don't think he loses, especially with that post credit with him winking at the camera.
Well, that's the thing, though, is Freddy. So Freddy loses in a sense that he lost the fight in the real world. He wins in a sense that he's back in hell. Because now he can do whatever he wants to do to Jason. Because now Jason, pretty much what the game plan was get everybody to fear Freddy again.
Yeah.
The only kink in his plan was, how do you get Jason to stop? You can't. So with them ending up back in hell because Jason got the final fucking jab in, Jason was announced the winner, especially seeing that he was the one climbing out of the lake with Freddy's head. And they just so happened to end up in Jason's personal hell where he's at Camp Crystal Lake, where he just kills and kills and kills nonstop. Now, in Freddy's sense, he knows that he's going to be back because now everybody knows he's strong enough. So this movie, I'm going to say, is A tier. It is by far better than the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Yeah. Honestly, the only thing I would disagree with you, and it's not that it's not A tier. I think Freddy's Dead should be A tier, and I think this should be the bottom of S.
What do you think, Collectibles?
I completely agree with that, honestly. Like, because Freddy versus Jason, I'd say is S tier, like either S tier or high A tier. So, like,
so why I give it S is also because it does fan service. Because you get reoccurring characters from older movies, you get there's callbacks, there's all kinds of things that we're not getting from 4. And because we're getting 2 killers in one movie. Let's be real.
All right, yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay, so we're gonna put Freddy's Dead at the top of A.
Oh God, that hurt more than I thought.
And Freddy versus Jason at the bottom of S.
Oh, Mama. Oh.
All 3 of the movies I really, really, really cared about are fucking S tier. Fuck yeah.
Those are good movies.
Oh my God.
All right, so that's that, guys. As you can see, that's our tier list on A Nightmare on Elm Street. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. We're doing fucking all sorts of crazy shit over here. We fucking love it. So, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay happy, and stay the fuck away from hate because that shit will kill you.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.